I mean, in this highlight specifically, they get the EMP that forces all these utilities out. But I think once New York went over to the Sombra, things just turned around for Kentucky.
Yeah,
How?
I think.
Just to draw attention though, that particular intro animation is Sombra interrupting someone else's start of the highlight intro. How funny
Yeah.
is it? It's a Sombra hacking another Sombra's highlight intro. That's just
Yeah, I was just gonna say I don't think I've ever seen that particular interrupt. I feel like the only time I ever see that is against a Roadhog.
yeah.
But yeah, fun.
Yeah, so I mean that's gonna be map number one, and I think at the outset you would have expected Bryant University to take that one, especially after how round number one went. But that the Sombra just coming in clutch, and there was no resolution from Bryant University with what New York was bringing to the table. So as we head into map two and beyond, we're likely going to see that Sombra continue to make its presence felt because hey, it's a very strong hero right now, and
It is.
the silence, the damage that the ultimate does, just how many times you can hack someone, right? All of these put together, and Sombra herself being an assassin is just added up together makes a very, very strong hero.
Indeed. And I do wonder if we're going to see like a bit of a problem is maybe the wrong word. And of course, we're going off the back of one map here, so who knows? Where if your strongest flex DPS player is a Genji specialist and your opponent's strongest hero on the flex role is the Sombra, you're then sort of trading like someone who can do a 10 out of 10 performance on still a pretty strong hero. Genji actually doing really well in the current meta, but can only manage an 8 out of 10 performance on the Sombra. That's just not going to cut it. You really need, if you're going to run this kind of high tempo, hack focused Sombra style of composition, right? You need a top flight Sombra and then another DPS who can give just as good a performance. If you are trying to switch that role on just that one flex DPS, I feel like that leaves you with a little bit of a hole in your defenses.
I mean, yes, but I also think that in Bryant's defense, there was, I think the third round specifically, was less an indicator of the skill of the Sombra and more that I think the focus fire from the team just wasn't quite there. In no instances should a Graviton Surge and an EMP not net you a fight win. It's just a case of scattered attention. Dialing that in, I think, is going to be very key for Bryant University if they want to make a comeback. But I have to give credit to Kentucky because finding a resolution after being so soundly beaten on the first round is a tremendous mark for them, both in the micro of just kind of resetting your mental game, but also the macro of understanding the strategy your team is strong at. And I really do like the University of Kentucky were able to take lessons from just one round of gameplay.
Yeah, it says a lot about mental resilience and understanding of what your potential win conditions are when your initial plan doesn't work the way you would like it. And I have to say, looking at the kind of compositions we got out on that first round of Oasis, we kind of started with, oh, it's weird to see the Sigma. I kind of think it was weird to see some of those initial DPS picks. We had the double hit scan coming in from Kentucky with the Soldier and the Cassidy, and like the utility just isn't there. And it's a little weird to me that that was game plan one and game plan one didn't work and you bring out game plan two, which is so much stronger. But great that there are multiple game plans, particularly as we are getting ready to go into our next map, Lafon. We're moving away from control and onto hybrid, one of our new maps. If you're only just tuning in to Overwatch to say support your son and daughter in their esports career, this is a new one for you. We're on our way to Midtown.
Wow, actually, getting a sense of the composition. I hope we might actually end up seeing more Sigma, right? Midtown, that especially if you think of that first A point, a big choke that you kind of have to fight your way through. And listen, fighting in the train car at the top of that A point is bait. Don't do it. I know there's a challenge for the season or that says get eliminations in this train car, but you're in a custom game. You don't need to do it. It won't work. It won't qualify here. But I mean, in general, the solution, I think one of the things we kind of highlight is that map geometry is playing a big part of the compositions that we're seeing in this particular patch, right? When you see heavy chokes, you're often seeing more rush or like brawl type things where Zarya comes in. If there's long sight lines, that's where kind of Sigma makes an appearance. And I think you could also make the argument that Orisa can slot in next to the Zarya in some of those brawl heavy areas, but I like the level of flexibility we're seeing, and something that it also allows is teams to be unleashed with their comfort picks that in certain metas you don't always get a chance to witness.
Right. I have just been informed that actually we might not be going to Midtown, as our next map type is going to be an escort map. Um, I'm looking at the list of maps we have available for this. I've got it down as Havana. I don't think, Levon, Havana is actually currently in the map rotation.
Yeah, we'll get a confirmation once we get into it itself. It doesn't really change my
Yeah,
point about the
sure.
strategy that's coming through, right? Because again, like I said, actually, one thing to kind of notice is that teams are the heroes that are kind of strong right now are the heroes that people like playing, and generally, I mean, generally when their characters that people like playing, people tend to be very good at them, especially here in the collegiate level, right? Where
Hmm, hmm.
a lot of players tend to just play their comfort picks rather than what is necessarily the strongest thing. Um, so when it's kind of when what's strongest is also what people like doing, you tend to get a very high level of play, and I think we're already seeing some level of that or some aspects of that after just one map.
Yeah, absolutely. Interesting that we seem to have two teams that are. Uh, So if you look at the tanks that are currently viable in Overwatch 2, like high level viable is like what are the top 500 players currently complaining about on Twitter, right? Is the metric for that is mostly Winston, Diva, Zarya, a little bit of Sigma. It's map dependent. Interesting that we've already seen 2 out of those 4 picks from the teams that we've had playing so far today, and we've not seen, for example, the tendency to come in and try and do the London Spitfire thing of try and brute force the Reinhardt. Like it suggests that either we've just got some happy specialists whose mains are good at the minute, or again a good understanding of what the meta currently is and what their won conditions are.
Yeah, man, the Sigma look is probably the one that threw me off the most, right? Especially on City Center, the first round we had. You don't traditionally have uh Sigma tends to like to sit on high ground where he can't be assailed very swiftly because he's able to provide staging, right? He has the
Mhm.
first staging, which is kind of the shield to protect you a little bit, but then the second staging is kind of the gap closer of his damage, and then the accretion is kind of that third stage. So which is why, and having natural defense on the high ground just makes those levels of assailing that much harder to kind of complete. So the fact we saw it on a map that I don't necessarily think you want to contest high ground as a tank or rather you are because of where the point is situated, you're not often given the
Mhm.
opportunity to take
Mhm.
high ground to kind of contest the opponent. It is interesting that we saw Sigma played. I'm curious if that continues into further maps because as we get into both escort and hybrid, the map geometry, especially defensively, is going to favor high ground a lot of the time.
Mhm.
There are not a lot of maps where you go low to high. Sorry, high to low. It usually is defensively where you start on the high ground.
Yeah.
So with that being said, does that mean we're going to see more Sigma? I think that's actually a pretty easy bet to make. Heading forward in the series.
Indeed, and I think we've mentioned already a couple of times that there are, um, whilst yes, we typically see that high ground defensible position favoured for the defenders, there are still maps in the map pool where we might expect the Sigma to be the pick right out of the gate. I'm thinking particularly
Circuit
Circuit Royale,
Royale.
another one of our maps. Exactly, yeah, like is the Sigma map. It's the Widow map at the minute. So yeah, entirely possible that if we do go there, and again we're waiting for confirmation as to where we're going next, we could still see that Sigma pick, that Sigma mirror even.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you think about if anything, escort is probably the map type where you see Sigma the most, right? I mean, Junkertown's another one that kind of comes to mind. Um, I mean, I say that I've played a lot of Junkertown and ranked over the last couple of days. I was gonna say weeks, but Overwatch has only really been out for a week and a half, not
Ah,
even a week and a day. So
yeah. It
actually,
feels like significant. Oh, go on.
I want to get you. Where are you in the battle pass at this point in time?
Oh, 20. But I couldn't play
You
for
were
the
on
first.
vacation, yeah. You
I
were
was
on
on
vacation.
vacation. I only started playing on Sunday. So, 20 levels in 3, 4 days.
Yeah, that's not
I
bad.
think that's respectable-ish. And,
In
I've got a job. I've got a wife. I've got things to be doing with my time. I can't just grind like some of y'all.
I mean, I say that in 8 days, including the delay we had in the early,
Mhm.
with all the launch things. I'm
The
at level
unpleasantness.
I'm at level 50 something, I think now.
Oh, you're
Yeah.
storming through that battle pass.
Yeah, so I mean, hey, we're chilling here. I got some nice cosmetics.
Yeah. Yeah, you're a couple of tiers above me. I'm hoping I can hit 80, 85. Is it 85 by
Actually,
the end of the season?
here's a better question. Have you played ranked yet?
No, but I have I actually have a twofold reason for this.
Okay. Okay.
Firstly, historically, I am a console player.
Okay.
So big nubby thumbs do most of the work. I'm actually playing on PC at the minute, and I'm finding that transition tricky. So like, I put a clip up on Twitter that I cropped out all of my terrible tracking. That's on me. I'm a newbie. Secondly, my understanding is MMR a little bit wonky at the minute. So if I let everybody else go in and fight it out first and deal with all the bad MMR games, I might have a smoother time of it. So that's where I am with ranked.
So I mean, the visible ranking is lower than what Overwatch 1 had, but I think the internal MMR is roughly close to where you are. It's a new game. There's kind of new things being added. I know they did a lot of behind the scenes stuff that kind of comes into play, but I've been having a good time. I've been playing ranked. And,
what have you been playing primarily?
Damage, because it's the only one I can queue with my friends.
And yet here I haven't had game one with the Lefon. What does that categorize me as?
I don't know. Blame my friends for not letting me have support and tank. I don't know what to say.
Okay.
Tell them to be better.
You point me at them and I'll fire a DM their way, Lefon. No problem.
Oh man. I mean, I've also had I have a 93% win rate in ranked over like 20 games or something. Yeah.
That's insane. I'm gonna need Lefon, tell me, what rank are you currently?
Plat 3, I think.
Okay, do me a favor. If you're in Plat 3 and you find Lefon in your team, 93% win rate, not good. I'd like to bring him down a couple of pegs. So if you find Lefon in your team, what I'd like you to do is just throw as hard as you can, like put the game as far as you possibly can.
Here's the thing. I've had teammates do that. I've had teammates try and throw my games.
I'm sure.
Them, so
play with Lefon. The games are unthrowable. And look, we had the chat. We're here on Midtown. Rule of thumb: avoid this train carriage.
Yeah, if you fight in this train car, I will get mad at you, right? It is not a good place to fight. I don't care who wins. Everyone loses.
I saw a tweet from Tier 2 support player Magic Mateball to say, in all caps, if you insist on fighting in the Midtown train car, I will make a 1,200-page document on how to play the game. So that is a threat you can stand by.
On the other hand, Magic Mateball writing that much is something I do want to see. So maybe do play in the train car.
Do we know if Magic Mateball can read? No, just kidding. On the off chance that you see this, Mateball, love you, big fan.
I think I played against Magic Mateball way back in the day. So, well, I say way back as if I'm like ancient. I'm not. All right.
Pot kettle black. Okay.
I still have a 100% win rate in competitive against him.
Good to know. Okay, Bryant University on the offense, and it is Sombra either side. Sesame moving over, actually. Sesame this time coming in on the tank with the Junker Queen. First hack through, a lot of damage going the way of TSSMB, and they are down and out. There's the second hack, and we're going to see Nurik survive that one. And Bryant University are still committing into this one, Lethon.
I mean, they didn't really get an advantage, so it's going to be tough to kind of really find value. Yeah, just taking space here. The one thing to kind of highlight is University of Kentucky is a much better brawl composition. The Somber Reaper, coupled with the Zarya, is really good at holding space and fighting close quarters. Bryant University, much as they try and avoid this choke point, I think are going to struggle at matchup. Yeah, TSSMB down yet again, and though Bryant University have managed the objective, you don't expect them to actually win this fight.
Oh, that is a quick assassination. Lil Potato on the Sombra, down and out. Nurik looking for a second. TP's out. University of Kentucky, they get close and personal. They brawl it out. And even though Bryant made it to the point, that is as far as they got.
The Junker Queen pickup here by Sesame implies that Bryant University thinks that they want to brawl. Sesame is not going to play from range here, right? This is simply not what a Junker Queen is good at. Unfortunately, the composition that they're playing against here favors University of Kentucky in that mirror brawl. So Bryant University, even though they've elected to go into a mirror or into a stylistic mirror, are in a disadvantage.
Klaus in particular is going to have so much more protection with those Zari balls acting as an Urtsast's second tank. Sesame pops the shout. Lands the knife, pulls in the Zarya, the bubble is there, and Miss MZ Coops backs out of this one. Bryant University have gained a small amount of space here, and they are closing in on one of the first ultimates of the game. They will have Chill Daddy's ultimate online shortly, but University of Kentucky have one, almost two, to throw back at Bryant should they go that far. Beansy with the Coalescence online, and that's going to be used just to try and keep Klaus alive. Nurik pops the EMP, and it's time for Beanie to hose him down. Oh, they're lining up for him, LaFon. Oh, the pushback! Remember, with the 3K on the Death Blossom, is that going to be enough here? Still alive. Now popping through the bubbles, trying to find these last few headshots, but the Zarya is high charge and has a Moira at their back. It was a good try. It's just not enough.
Now, the question is that enough time to allow the respawns to... No, it isn't. Okay, Girl Daddy's dead. Right as I asked the question.
Caster Curse, well done. Good job. Oh, they're pushing in.
To be fair, that's less a caster curse and more like just answering my question, very swiftly.
Oh boy, it was pretty back and forth on Oasis, but University of Kentucky really look like they're done with this match and want to stomp Bryant University into the dirt.
Yeah, I mean, man, I don't even... for Bryant University, I assume they're going to try and nano boost the Junker Queen with the Rampage here. But there's a Graviton Surge, this is Sound Berry to deny it. Yeah, this is going to be really rough for Bryant versus Final Value. And this is last fight. There's only a minute left here.
It's got to be big. Okay, early Sound Barrier out from Queen Arrow. Finds the pick onto Girl Daddy. It's got to be the quick disengage here from Bryant University. University of Kentucky just aren't going to let them have it. It's off to the races, it's off to the derby, and it's back to spawn for Bryant with 40 seconds on the clock.
Now, okay, so I mean... That is a small, benefit here for Bryant University in that now they can actually get an uncontested Rampage. If you hit all 5, there is an opportunity to win this. A small window though it is, any window is something that Bryant University have to play for because they only have 20 seconds left.
Okay, they've got to move. There's the initial hack. Klaus down like the cat among the pigeons. And... there's not a lot of coming back from that one. LaFon, it's 10 on the clock. Bryant University without a leg to stand on. They're going to finish this with ults in the bank.
Yeah, that's EMP, that's Rampage. It's close to Death Blossom as well.
Yeah.
Yep, there's the shrug from Klaus.
I'm with you on that one, Klaus. That's rough stuff here for Bryant.
A reminder that not even a single tick was earned on that first push from Bryant University. So what was a a very dominant opening round on Oasis has slipped away like so many grains of sand. And University of Kentucky are perhaps one fight, not even a fight, one skirmish away from taking a commanding 2-0 series lead.
And we've seen Nurik be pretty good about getting in and finding those early hacks and eliminations. It's one of those, and the fight's kind of done with the way University of Kentucky have been playing. They can spot the hack, they know when to collapse, and that's usually GG on the fight. Let's see if Bryant University can successfully adapt into that on the defense. And we certainly have an adaptation this time. Looks like we might get Sesame on the new and improved Orisa.
Orisa is nigh on unkillable here, but I don't know that that's going to be enough, right? It's not enough just to not die. You have to win fights for Bryant University. In fact, you have to win essentially 5 of them here. 4 minutes is going to be on the clock for Midtown to get that first third of the objective. So all University of Kentucky need is just to get rid of everyone else. And if Sesame's alive, then it doesn't really matter at that point.
And University of Kentucky are playing a WM1 composition, right? It's get the Zarya some charge, get a hack on, speed forward, off we go. Bryant University don't really seem to have an answer to that one in the composition that they've got. Little Potato has a real big task to try and shut down key components of this composition. Queen Arrow already forces Little Potato back and out of the recall. They're going to make a quick rotation under the train cart and back onto the point. Nurik forced back momentarily, so an advantage a little bit for Bryant University. No kills coming through just yet, and Bryant University, 2 kills on the back of Sesame here, will find the first hold, but it's the first of many required.
It's a good start, right? And sometimes that's all you need, the start of something to turn it around. I will say that doesn't actually earn a ton of ult charge here for Bryant University. It's something they're going to really need to close out these fights. However, that was a very slow engagement from University of Kentucky, a full minute taken off the clock. And you only have to win 3 more of those to kind of close out the round and equalize in a draw. Still a tall ask, but a possibility at this point.
Yeah, there's a window still open here for Bryant University to mount the full hold and secure a draw on this one. Kentucky have now made their way to the point. Bryant need to get in and keep this contested. At the minute, it's a little bit of a struggle. Okay, that's going to be the javelin spin out from Sesame, finds Queen Arrow and Bryant University. Again, it's scrappy, but they do find the hold. It's another minute off the clock.
University of Kentucky gonna have to slow down a little bit. They're trying to force the objective, and they're not allowing their players to stabilize. Queen Arrow's so far behind Grill Daddy in that ult charge, right? And no shade to Queen Arrow for that performance. They simply have not given the Lucio enough time to get online. They're not getting the support in time. And I mean, we've been praising Yurik over and over, but that is not a good ult line to have here if you're Sombra.
Yurik with the hack, Queen Arrow down again. Sesame with the javelins has been a real top-notch dart player here, and Bryant University can just slow this one down, take their time winning it, and burn all this time off the clock.
Only 2 more fights required here if you're University if you are Bryant University, right? They've done a great job of extending. They haven't had to use any ultimates, and now they're about to have 5 online.
Yeah, some big ones coming into play here. University of Kentucky need to see what they can do to force this one out. Sesame pushing forward into the Coalescence. Beansy finds Grill Daddy, and that might be where the dominoes start to fall. Beansy equalized Klaus down as well. EMP used here by Nurik, and they've only found 2 on the back of it. Rimuru alive, backs out for now. If Kentucky can regroup quickly, there are now some dents in the composition.
That is an expensive fight to lose, though.
We got the
University of
Grav.
Kentucky. They use the Graviton Surge, the EMP, and the Coalescence. And Bryant University only, I mean, that is just, they have everything they need to pull this one out.
Okay, looking for a big Death Blossom here from Klaus. There's the EMP, Sound Barrier, and we get, I can't remember what that Orisa ult is called, Terror Surge. 2 kills on the back of that one for Bryant University. 1 minute on the clock, Nurik down again. We've really got one more good fight for Kentucky.
That did expend everything from Bryant University's bank, though, right? And though Rimuru's, eking towards another Death Blossom here, I mean, University of Kentucky is the only one that's going to have an ultimate at the outset of this engagement. The Sound Barrier from Queen Arrow going to trend towards it. But we are in final fight. This is it. There's only 30 seconds left, and the winner of this fight ends up closing out the map.
Sound Barrier now online for Queen Arrow, finally. They can use this aggressive. They're just going to use it to try and close the distance here. I think that may even have been a little bit early, but they have found a pick. Grill Daddy's the first down. Rimuru momentarily displaced. Now will have the Death Blossom online. There's 2. It's a 2-for-2 trade. Rimuru now healthy. Beansy finds CSSMB, and Rimuru is down. And in the last few seconds, University of Kentucky may just get this done. There's the hack onto Lil Potato, and what a valiant effort from Bryant University to keep this going. They've now got Grill Daddy on the point, but it is Grill Daddy only. OT down. Heartbreaking stuff here for Bryant University as University of Kentucky take match points.
That is, I mean, just in the final moments, right? Running out of a utility at the very, very last. And we said it would have to be one skirmish that University of Kentucky really had to execute or have the greater numbers in. And it happens to be the final one where that is the case. Again, Nurik comes in clutch, is the clutch player for their squad, as the Sombra is able to survive the Death Blossom long enough to deal the damage onto the Reaper and close out the round. But what a... I mean, when you get full health, it often looks inevitable that the game is just going to be over. But Bryant University really made that close. And I think considering the fact it's an 0-2 and there was a full hold, this has been a lot closer than you kind of expect.
It's interesting as well that neither team seemed to have a great plan for offense. Both teams seemed to do significantly better when it was them in control of that first cap here. So we never actually got to see the payload portion of it. And another interesting thing, I think, we set this up with Midtown particularly, that like you never play for that train car. Like the train car is a trap. It looks like a nice choke. It looks like a good high ground control. Bryant University held that pretty much the entirety of that round, and it almost worked out for them.
I mean, you say that they didn't take any fights in Midtown into the train car till the very end,
yeah,
right? So yes and no.
Okay, good. The
It's one
best
of
of both worlds. That's what I was going
yeah.
for.
So I mean, here's the thing: neither offensive team staged in any way on that map. Right, there was
Mhm.
no taking map control to be found. What that meant was that the defensive team had natural high ground to kind of control permanently. Which eventually, the only reason it broke is that at the very end of the map, the offensive team ended up having more utilities, more ultimates to kind of overcome that natural defense. We're going to need to see as we move to map number 3 here on Escort, more understanding of map control, more, moving around the map in a way that makes sense to stage, to get your players in position
Mhm.
around natural defensive utility or natural defensive positioning, to get you value as we move into map number 3 here in a moment.
Yeah, but nice to see our two teams playing on something that isn't an objective, as between control and only point A for hybrid. That's all we've really seen here. Obviously, the rules of engagement change a little bit, and we see a little more variation because, of course, you are expected to fight at multiple different points of the map. We are currently waiting on confirmation as to what our next map
Yeah.
is going to be, but they all play. I have just got word that it is going to be Havana-thon, which I don't think I've seen for quite a while now. In fact, given that the last few games I've been casting have been Overwatch 2 rather than Overwatch 1, I can't think the last time I saw this map.
The last time I saw Havana was 4 months ago.
Wow. It's got to be dusty by now.
Yeah. Either that or the people taking care of it have kept it exceptionally clean because there's no one going there.
True. Yeah, less people to cause a dirt. Yeah, actually, I guess when you look at what the various things the people in Overwatch can do, there probably is significantly less mess now that they're not there tearing up the streets on an hourly basis.
Do you think the ships are insured, like the spawn rooms are insured against damage due to setup? Like
I think
surely that would be, you would have to, but like that's extremely expensive.
I think the existence of the types of people that exist in the world of Overwatch probably makes insurance too expensive for anybody to have. Like when you think,
Mm.
oh, maybe effectively superheroes will turn up and level our city. Like there's a whole manga about the type of people that have to clean up after people like the Avengers. I think there's a couple of TV shows as well. So
Yeah.
yeah, insurance I imagine is for the ultra wealthy.
So I'll also play spoiler here,
Oh,
and just be like the guy that ruins the thing, you know.
thank you. That's what we
Um,
come to expect from Ulafon.
I do my best, but also the actions within the game are not canon
Ah, yes.
to Overwatch. So you
Yeah.
destroying a spawn room does not actually happen.
Yeah, it's good to know that in reality on King's Row, Reinhardt, Soldier, Mercy, Torbjorn, and Tracer aren't taking a bomb to blow up a bunch of
Yeah.
homeless bots. Because yeah, that doesn't sound like it's within Overwatch's remit. Talon, sure. Overwatch, probably not.
It's really dark if you think about it, right? Like
Yeah,
bomb mix are being EMP'd. Yikes.
yeah, it's not good. No, not good for anybody. Let's think about happier things. So, I think like we've seen our two teams kind of settle into looks that they seem most comfortable with, particularly around that Sombra. I feel like we have on the side of Bryant in particular a question as to what is the optimal tank, because so far we've seen Orisa, Sigma, Zarya. Um,
Junker
the
Queen.
Junker Queen, yes, that's the one I was missing. And like two of those are okay. We have seen at the highest level a little bit of Orisa, a little bit of Junker Queen, not a huge amount as they both sort of fallen down in the standings. But that is at the level of play we kind of expect from collegiate teams. Quite a wide variety around what an established meta might look like. So I think for Bryant University, there are questions here to be answered about specifically what is going to be their strongest look. And this is very early on in ECAC. We're right at the start of the season here.
Yeah.
So this is where they're going to have to start looking for answers.
What I'm curious for Bryant University, though, is the fact that they have given me two halves of a composition. If they put them both together, they could be. I mean, they could be much better off, right? This is not necessarily flame against Bryant University in any sense. It's a genuine question. If you're capable of running the Zarya and looking decent at it, then or the Orisa, I think actually is what actually ended up happening, right? They ran Orisa Junker Queen. The Zarya was from their opposition. If you're running
Correct.
the Orisa and you're capable of running the Genji in that kind of brawl sort of setup, why not run both at the same time, right? You're running a Sigma instead, and I don't know that you kind of get value with that. You get value in that first round, but once it's solved, you end up struggling a little bit more. So if you're able to put 2 and 2 together, I think this gives Bryant University a little bit more of an opportunity to find victory. And credit to Kentucky for throwing a wrench in the works quite literally with the Sombra, hacking over and over and just not letting the players kind of get in. As New York has really played the assassin very well. Every hack really, every manual hack really does seem to come through with an elimination from the Sombra themselves.
And I think it's worth talking also about the kind of EMP efficiency that we're seeing from Nurik. So we don't actually have access to in-game stats, but thinking back specifically to University on our control map, I think we saw 3 EMPs, 2 of which were 5-man EMPs. That is very, very strong efficiency. Like, I don't think we've maybe seen 1 EMP used specifically to take a Pharah out of the sky when they acknowledged that the Pharah was a threat. But like, that kind of coverage takes a really keen eye and a lot of practice on a Sombra to get that level of coverage.
Yeah, and there's really only been 1 bad EMP to wit as well, right? It was the one in the Midtown Tunnel or the train car where the fight was over and you commit, the EMP, the graphical surge, the coalescence. But I think aside from that slight overstep, it has been really a great showing from Nurik on the Sombra overall, and a big part as to why they're up 2-0 at this point.
Of course, still the potential here for a reverse sweep. You can't argue that round on a Midtown wasn't incredibly close and down to the wire kind of stuff. And if a reverse sweep is going to happen, it needs to start right here. And we are on our way in to our escort map. Final confirmation is, of course, going to be Havana. Welcome back, everybody. I think.
I tell
go
a
on.
lie. I
Please.
saw Havana, played on Havana.
Oh.
A month ago.
Oh, what was the occasion?
It was in Goats. So.
Oh, of course. Well, a little bit different circumstances.
We got spawn camped.
I'm very well. I'm sorry for the rest of your team. I won't lie. I do take a small amount of satisfaction in your downfall. Just how it is.
We should clarify. We should clarify for the audience. Phil objectively does not like it when I succeed. We are not friends. We don't like each other.
Yeah, we've just got a very friendly sounding way of hating each other. That's all it is.
You just
okay.
Someone actually thinks we're being serious about that, which is funny to me. Genuinely funny.
Yeah, we're going to get a super clip of all the times we're mean to each other on broadcast. Let's have a look at what's happening here. University of Kentucky starting on the offense this time, and a new player in on the tank lineup. That's going to be Lady Rules coming in for the Zarya. It's going to be a long hold back here for Bryant with the Orisa.
Irrelevant XD, great name by the way. Also a new player stepping in for University of Kentucky here.
Okay. TSSMB on the high ground here with the Sojourn.
To note, CSSMB was also playing the Ana at points.
Yes, true.
Moving over to the DPS. So a lot of roster chess going on here from both our squads.
Let's make sure everybody on the team gets some play time here today and see what happens. Okay, now that the card is a little bit closer to Bryant University on the defense, they can really start to make some of these brawlier picks work. Rimuru flexing yet again, now over on to the May. Sesame finds Lady Rules, and let's just wall them off in spawn for the heck of it.
Some nice headshots coming in from the May, and that's the final blows coming through. So we'll get the close out now. And, Queen Arrow moving over to the Ana off of the Lucio. So continuing to showcase the flexibility here.
Oh,
Rimuru
their feet were peeking out, Lafon. That's a shame. Rimuru with another kill. Grill Daddy finds Beansy here, and this has been really good stuff from Bryant University so far.
Skill Orb gets 2 final blows. Ooh,
MVP
man.
Skill Orb.
No, I'm not salty that Skill Orb kills me every once in a while from range. What gives you that idea? Speaking of things that make you kind of mad, the Blizzard is online here for Rimuru very, very swiftly. I don't know that University of Kentucky is going to have clocked this. This could be a fight win just based off this ultimate.
I mean, given the way Bryant you'd have been playing so far, maybe you don't even need that. Maybe that's your ace in the hole for if University of Kentucky get a little bit too big for their britches, and they have made a swap. Lady Rules now over onto an Orisa of their own. Should maybe help them close the gap and get close to Brawl. Let's see how they make that happen. Okay, Blizzard out early. Nobody caught in that one. That's what we call a zoning blizzard here. Skill Orb again adding to their kill count as Irrelevant's down. Rimuru on the chase. Can't find the last headshot, but has chased them back into spawn.
In fairness to Rimuru, Irrelevant died so quickly the blizzard didn't have time to freeze them.
Oh, okay.
So
Wasn't.
Speaking of being iced out, though, Klaus gets caught out of spawn. He's gonna survive, but a very risky place to be. That being said, time has not been on the side of the offense. University of Kentucky down to the last minute and a half here.
Okay, they are finally starting to make some progress here as Bryant University give them a little bit of space, and Sesame is now down. Great javelin from Lady Rules. TSSMB pops the overclock, looking for anything here. There's a lot of heads, but they're all moving pretty fast here, looking to find that final pick and find Klaus. Klaus is down to Rimuru. Lady Rules with another javelin here as TSSMB pops in the disruptor shot and just starts to beam down Irrelevant. They know that they're done for here. They back out and hope for a last-second recontest. Ocean's down now. Ocean? Ocean down. Sad.
Yeah. Well, that's Oceans, actually, so multiple.
Yeah, I was thrown for a second there.
Now, I mean, there's a recontest, but Oceans is not here. I mean, University of Kentucky, yeah, they kind of are allowing them to walk in. Wait.
Grill Daddy turning on the propane. Terra Surge as well. Forces University of Kentucky back. Bryant University now closing in. Great here with the javelin spin. Forces Irrelevant back. Sesame finds Irrelevant. Klaus down now as well. And Bryant University, with 30 seconds on the clock, may just mount a last-second hold on A.
Oh, it's going to be more than 30. Oh, my goodness. There's 20 seconds left, and Fear Arrow just died. Plus the fact the Blizzard is available. I mean, Bryant University, unless there's some miraculous pickup here by University of Kentucky, they should have just completed the hold.
I think we needed to see the swap from Queen Arrow back onto the Lucio just to get the touch, because there's 5 seconds and nobody is there. It's got to be down to Klaus, who I think does just get the touch off, dies in the middle of that ultimate. Out comes the Blizzard, and yeah, that's just off the hands of Bryant University. Nice hold here on Havana A.
Much more commanding performance here on map number 3. Shades of that first round of Oasis now from Bryant University and University of Kentucky. I mean, now they have a tall task where on, Midtown they had all the answers. Bryant University just, leaving them just completely stymied here.
University of Kentucky going to be making the sign of our Lord and Saint Achilleos, hoping for the fuller hold here. It's possible because we did get, I think, 3 meters away from the cap onto A, so almost that entire space to play with. But with the way Bryant University played that defense, if they can replicate that on offense, I don't see how University of Kentucky can answer that.
I mean, if you're Bryant University, why change, right? It's been working successfully. So, in fact, University of Kentucky is going to mirror the successful composition, bring out a May of their own. They're going to play a close quarters brawl, as they bring a Reinhardt too. So
interesting.
Reinhardt a lot squishier of a target than Orisa, something that you don't often consider. But Orisa, as we've said, kind of unkillable in Overwatch 2, with her javelin spin and the fortify and just how much armor she has.
Yep, they've really upgraded that battle kettle now. Fully functioning horns and javelins and everything. Let's see how this works for University of Kentucky. Okay, early sneaky hold. Charge in, actually clips the corner of the building there. Early use of the Immortality Field. Has found the opening prick here. Lady Rules finds Ocean. Irrelevant XD on a May of their own, looking to try and find additional kills here. University of Kentucky with a great start here. They just need to keep up the pace.
Still a lot of players take a ton of damage, and Queen Arrow nearly goes down, but still a very even fight.
Okay, walls out already. Klaus finds TSSMB. Rimuru forced into the ice block. At the very least, that's ult charge for them, but you'd like to hold that for a little while longer if you can. And University of Kentucky already burnt 40 seconds off the clock. This is going to be a minute before Bryant can even get close to getting out of the university. Sorry, out of the spawn. And they are making swap Sesame onto a Rhine of their own.
Ooh, full mirror. Let's go. The only difference is going to be the support line in the back.
Okay, we're looking at Lady Rules coming up on an ultimate, but Irrelevant XD is already down. Sesame now goes hammer to hammer with Lady Rules. Trades out, and University of Kentucky have found kills here. They win this fight, but they can no longer keep this close hold.
I think there's 3 players left alive. Yeah, it was the May and the Reinhardt that were taken out. So with the closer respawns, they are going to be able to break their spawn or break out of the spawn are Bryant University. But I mean, 2 minutes 30 left. It's 2 fights and a bit that University of Kentucky need to do, and they're going to open up with an Amp Matrix, force the wall out early, and just buy a little bit of time.
Takes me back. Ice Wall out to interrupt the amplification matrix. Feels like I'm back a year. Immortality Field out early. Rimuru finds Irrelevant XD, and now Beansy has a mother of a task to do, and the wall suffocates them. Rimuru is able to find Lighty Rules and Irrelevant XD. Going to get the rally out from Queen Arrow to keep what is left of University of Kentucky alive. Klaus now comes in with the Death Blossom. TSSMB with one of their own, but a long way from anybody of real value here. Going to pull the pin. Klaus in over the top, and that's going to be almost all shield. TSSMB down. Soundberry out from Oceans. They want to keep themselves in this a little bit longer. Klaus focused down by Rimuru. University of Kentucky get themselves back into this one. The wall interrupts the goal essence from Grill Daddy, but the damage has been done. Sesame and Oceans get in on the action. Irrelevant XD down. All the damage in the world coming the way of Lighty Rules. Queen Arrow down here, and now we're on that final push into the golden box of victory for Bryant University.
The last one to contest is going to be, I don't believe this is anyone who could even get there.
No.
It's irrelevant. It's Klaus who's left alive, but the cart's almost at the finish line, and you need to touch.
Gotta go. It's
And
gonna
you're
be...
forced to
Oh
break
no,
early.
the wall stops the... No, just gets in, manages the contest, but dies straight after, and the rest can't get in the way. Beautifully played there by Brian. They get a point on the board, and we are on our Whalefon to a map number 4.
A slow defeat there as and get the highlight coming in, but University of Kentucky just not able to prevent the May from just taking space here.
Yeah, I think really towards the end of that fight, we needed just a little more ult charge from the May on the side of University of Kentucky to get that online and keep that point contested. It just wasn't quite there in time. I think by the end of the match, it was 87% on board. That could have been a difference maker. University of Kentucky just had that completely under their thumb.
And I mean, that means that the series still is alive here, as shutout will not be earned by University of Kentucky. Still facing match point, and Bryant University are not done yet, but a start is sometimes all you need to really turn things in your favor as they move on from Havana with that victory. Now, I mean, it's been, I think one thing for University, or for Bryant University, I should say, is that they've finally put themselves in a position where their composition actually works together, and they've got every single player able to contribute at the same time. I mean, a big part as to why they were able to take that map.
Okay, so it sounds like we're about to go into a break, Lafon, before we get into map 4. So if you've got a couple minutes, go grab yourself a drink and a bite to eat, and we'll bring you right back for more of the action from Kentucky University versus Bryant University in just a few minutes.
We finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big, job that's real big. Satan trying a little, my God is real big. Stayed up on the ground on the cards is real big. I gotta do it big, the only way that I can live.
Are you the one others rally around? Inspire soldiers to follow your lead. Want to forge a better future? Start with the structures that support tomorrow's missions. You believe the best offense is a good defense. We've got a great way to prove that theory. Explore more than 200 careers at GoArmy.com.
Hey man, I just can't find a comfortable headset. I mean, I've tried everything. Literally everything.
Sheesh, my brother. I got you.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
That is comfortable.
Are you the one others rally around? Inspire soldiers to follow your lead. Explore more than 200 careers at GoArmy.com.
We all got a thing that gets us out of bed or keeps us out of it. The thing we live to do, that we do for nothing at all. But don't do it for nothing. Take it to where it means everything. Becoming a leader is a choice. So if you want to learn to make big decisions, start with this one. Decide to lead.
What sound experience would you like today?
I'll have the fantasy pack.
Good choice.
And could you make it a Cloud 2 wireless?
On his way, sir.
Sounds amazing.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Skip entry level. Decide to lead as an Army officer.
What would you like today? Another Cloud 2 classic?
I'll stick with the usual. Maybe take a little bit off the sides.
Oh, that's fresh.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Hey, watch your head.
You think knowledge is a powerful weapon? Here, you'll have plenty of ammo. Look to science to solve problems? Wield a microscope to confront global threats. You sometimes dream in code? Become a cyber attacker's worst nightmare. Explore more than 200 careers at GoArmy.com.
What do you expect from that first job out of college? Working your way up from the bottom? Instead, how does this sound? Starting in a guaranteed leadership position with people who look to you for guidance because you're trained to give it and make important decisions in critical situations. Skip entry level. Decide to lead as an Army officer. Becoming a leader is a choice not everyone wants to make. Because all eyes are on you. Calling the shots. Inspiring others to follow. In any environment. At any scale. It's not for everyone. But if you want to learn to make big decisions, start with this one. Decide to lead as an Army officer.
You think knowledge is a powerful weapon? Here, you'll have plenty of ammo. Explore more than 200 careers at GoArmy.com.
Y'all think too small, I got big dreams. You just starting, I'm way ahead at the end scenes. Started reading and dodging all of the quick schemes. Money like your Spotify boy, I got 10 streams. And I'm still looking for more. My people, they got...
Welcome back, everybody. Here we are getting ready to go into a map for Lafon. It's been pretty back and forth all night, even though we started map 3 with a 2-0 lead for Kentucky. Every map so far has been pretty hard fought for, and we could be seeing the start of the reverse sweep for Bryant.
We could be, especially with how the last map kind of went, because I think Havana was very much firmly in Bryant's favor. There was no... I think you can make an argument that the first 2 maps were a little bit more closely contested, but Havana really, the May pick and switching to a kind of brawl was significantly more in favor of Bryant University. So I think as we get into map number 4, here we have to see, I think, a resolution. Being able to shut down Rimmer on the May, really, if Rimmer can get in and brawl close quarters, that is where Bryant University has had their most success. And as we move to push, I wouldn't be surprised to see if that continues, because you know, push can very much have. I mean, we've seen teams at the pro league level able to find value in kind of that hardcore brawl. So continuing to your strengths of your Bryant University could very well easily force a map 5.
I think on the subject of Brawl, one of the things that's been particularly interesting is the way Orisa functions now, because traditionally, with version 1.0 Orisa, the idea is you sit back, you shoot up, you fire from range and hope for a pick. the projectile, the nature of the projectile for Orisa now is such that the closer you are to your target, the more damage it does. So yeah, it's a projectile, but also you want to be getting it right up your enemy's nostrils for max impact. And as we move over on to, well, your home turf, or very nearly your home turf here in New Queen Street, it's going to be a little more of the same from Bryant University.
Yeah, I mean, that's where they found the most success, and I don't see any real reason to change off it. That being said, Nurek is back on the Sombra, a pick that has really devastated Bryant University's backline, so it continues yet again.
Yeah, there's the hack. Won't find the kill. Actually, great interrupt there with the Javelin from Sesame, but Fury could be right back in this. There's the 1-for-1. Now the 2-for-1 trade. Rimuru largely unchecked on the front lines here. The casual reload of the shotguns dodges the EMP, but eventually gets surrounded and overwhelmed. Bryant University have made off with the bot for now, getting some early progress. University of Kentucky just getting ready to get in and contest now that MZ Coops is back in the fight here. Nurek spraying and praying. Getting ready for the hover hand to find a hack here. A lot of damage to him in the way, so they can't get that in online. He receives a javelin to the shoulder. A bit of a Winster sympathy pain here. And nobody really winning a fight yet, LaFon.
It's been an all-out skirmish. We're going to need to see some real pickoffs here to actually start turning things around. Klaus barely survives.
Beansy had to get out of that fight one because they were themselves quite low here. Nurek down to Ocean. CSSMB finds MT Cooper. And Klaus is now more or less on their own. Beansy still in the fight as well with the Coalescence, but without the tank here, it's going to be a little tricky, LaFon.
Yeah, this is going to be the first fight actively won, so Bryant University will take the first real lead of this map, number 4.
An inevitable occurrence.
And I mean, one thing to kind of notice is that Sesame was the only one who really didn't die, right? And that's what the Orisa's so good at. And on push, if you can be the last player standing, even if you're not going to get a ton of value, you will, prevent yourself from losing more space. So the unkillable Orisa continues to be a real threat.
Okay, hack now onto Sesame. They'll recover from that one. Hold on to the Terror Surge. Coalescence into Coalescence here. Nobody really damaged too much here by the Terror Surge. And Oceans commits the beat here. Queen Arrow hacked out of theirs. Oh, didn't get that off. Hacked in the middle of it. EMP out from Nurek, but they've already lost their 2 big main sources of damage. And it means that Bryant University close in on that first point cap.
That is another EMP that just does not have anyone to follow up on it. Your Moira and Lucio, rather, are not going to be able to close out the fight. Rimuru is down, so while the checkpoint has been earned here from Bryant University, the likelihood of them actually winning this fight is pretty slim, as University of Kentucky get the respawns to come through.
Another hack onto Sesame, and this time Sesame totally worked down to 0 here. Bryant University do have some tools to push back, but they're almost certainly going to want to wait until they're at a full 5 and University of Kentucky start to get some progress.
The thing here is that with push is because the bot has to kind of be reset to the neutral point on the map, Bryant University already back to a place where they can commit to a fight. And I mean, they've got the overclock, they've got the death blossom. You can see Rimuru hanging around a corner looking for close quarters to show up.
There it is.
This is going to be death blossom here in the back line.
High ground for the pin, finds Queen Arrow, finds MC Coop, and that is a very efficient fight, or it was until we got the barrier committed there from Oceans.
Well, and the overclock. They committed the barrier and the overclock.
Oh, yeah.
So,
all right, so it went from super efficient to just decadent.
Wasteful, even. Well, at least they get the kill onto Nurek, so there's no EMP here for University of Kentucky.
It's frustrating stuff here. Klaus.
Oh, this is bold.
Yeah, interesting TP in. Rimuru gets in, finds a kill, and gets out again. University of Kentucky now have a wealth of win conditions here. Let's see if they can actually get some of those on board. MZ Coop pushes forward without the support of the rest of the team and goes down to, well, 0 HP. Klaus finds one with the Death Blossom, makes themselves a sitting target for the overclock. Klaus and TC Nurek able to find a couple here, so University of Kentucky back in charge of the bots.
Still, that is a significant amount of ground gained by Bryant University in a fight that they ostensibly lost, up to that 82 marker. And I mean, when we consider like points where on New Queen Street especially, where you kind of expect a team to win, I'd say the big marker's 100, but 82 is pretty close. There's an EMP.
Yeah. Great presence there, great patience to wait for the Coalescence to come into range before the EMP is popped, takes that offline, and Grudada is down. But there's only one kill, and Sesame survives and piles in the Terror Surge. Clouds down here, but Sesame can't live through that themselves. Bryant University a little bit battered, a little bit bruised here, and MC Coop finds a lot of value here with the Zarya on the front lines. But Bryant University and Rimuru in particular stay alive long enough to really slow that bot down.
Yeah, this is a big thing for University, or for Bryant University, I guess. Even though they've lost the fight, they've made it so much more expensive. That was a brilliant EMP from Nurek, but there's just no follow through, and with no damage throughput. The fact of the matter is that EMP ends up being a bad one, not through any fault of Nurek, but because no one was able to kind of close in those eliminations. And now University of Kentucky have nothing.
And it cost them so much that Bryant University have been able to recover from a lot of it and generate some ultimates. They've got the Sound Barrier, they've got the Death Blossom, they've got the Overclock. They can just pop one of these and win the fight on the back of it, but they might not even need it. TSSMB with a rail of their own without the Overclock finds Klaus. Down goes the Immortality Field. Rimuru holds on to the ult, and they just walk it back in.
The focus fire just simply needs to be better if you're committing that EMP, and they'll have another opportunity as Nurek has farmed up to another one here. But they, I mean, it's 4 minutes left on the clock. It doesn't sound like a lot of time. Or sorry, it sounds like a lot of time, but it is not, in fact, a tremendous amount considering push. Klaus lurking around the outskirts of an engagement finds TSSMB, so at least that's a start here for University of Kentucky.
Oh, chain hack there for Rimuru, and it's back to spawn to think about respawning in yet another world here for Rimuru.
Much better focus fire. Much better focus fire from University of Kentucky. EMP went up, 4 people got hacked, 4 people went down.
All right, let's see if they can keep this momentum here. Klaus takes a world of damage, backs out here. Nurek looking for an opportune hack here.
This is a risky hack to go for because the translocator is right there.
Okay. Oh, Rimuru hacked. Can't pull off the Death Blossom, but will survive through the focus fire. Pops it, gets the damage back. Down goes MC Coops and Queen Arrow. And University of Kentucky just cannot quite get it past that bus and around the corner.
And that is Graviton Surge and the Amplification Matrix that just get denied by the Death Blossom. Nurek with 3 HP.
Oh, 3 HP. Away. 3 HP in a dream actually gets out. Wow.
Still, I mean, you're not even to that checkpoint if you're University of Kentucky. And it's now down to less than 3 minutes here. It's not looking good.
Klaus from Kentucky with the Death Blossom. Nurek finds CSSMB. Hack comes through, interrupts Sesame. Rimuru down, Grill Daddy down, and we're going to do this dance again. We see Bryant University push up as far as just about where they've gotten before, and University of Kentucky push back. I wonder if they'll get it past the corner this time, Lathon.
I mean, they lost Green Arrow, so it's going to be a 4v5. They can't actually go that aggressively. Here's another EMP, though. And you've got the Death Blossom. So if you can deny this Coalescence from Grill Daddy, there's an opportunity for University of Kentucky to turn this fight in their favor. Time is not on your side, though. You got to go fast.
They're all cooped up. That would be a big EMP, but Klaus isn't in a position to capitalize. Instead, drops down. There's the EMP. Finds 3, interrupts the Coalescence. Big boop, and the Death Blossom only finds 1. And TSSMB pops the Overclock and finds Nurek. And look where we are, Lathon, just by the bus, waiting for it to come and pick us up to a happier, more cheerful place for the University of Kentucky.
I see you've not been on the TTC. The reset comes through from University of Kentucky once more, and I mean, they have nothing. They have nothing. Coalescence is going to be, kind of coming in, but it's a minute half, 90 seconds, and you just don't have the time to kind of lose these fights anymore.
No, someone needs to start putting up hero numbers, and Nurek with the swap over onto the Sojourn finds an early entry, but it's cost them a support and it's cost them their tank. It's not quite been quick enough, and Nurek has to use those rocket legs to rocket leg their way back out of that one.
Last fight. I mean, there's 60 seconds left. 6 seconds and a nano boost. You're gonna see MZ Coop switch over to a Diva. It's looking more and more like a map 5.
It's certainly starting to smell like one. TSSMB down as Beansy comes back in with the Coalescence. Klaus looks like they've isolated Rimuru, who does have a Death Blossom, but I don't think they've got the certainty to use it here. No, they're going to look to escape here, so University of Kentucky again back in control of the bot and on their way to the bus stop.
This time, though, they win the fight as 5 players alive, so they'll actually be able to take a good fight in this next engagement. And they actually have a counter to a Death Blossom in the D.Va's defense matrix at this point. So certainly some counters coming through, but it's going to have to be perfect from here on out for Bryant University if they want to close this map and take the series.
Nurik has the overclock, but the requirements for success with that are much, much more stringent than they are with an EMP. Instead, University of Kentucky take a moment and step back. Bryant University holding on to some ults here. They're looking for some resources to be burnt down, and that's going to be MZ Coops out of the make. Nothing to interrupt the Death Blossom, nothing to stop University of Kentucky. Nurik finds the hero shot and domes Oceans out of the fight. But that's going to be all she wrote here for University of Kentucky on push. It's going to 2 and 2. It's going to go to a map 5 Lafon.
Just really, really smart play from Bryant University. For even when they lose fights, they don't lose them. They don't lose them clean. They take 1, they take 2 with them, and put themselves in that much better of a position for the next engagement.
Happened again.
You might get the highlight, but alas, it will not get you the map. We equalize at 2 to go into map number 5. Oh, a reverse sweep very much in the cards here for Bryant University.
Because it's not like it was a 200-0 shutout on the first control map, because spoilers, we're going to another control map here for the tiebreaker map. It was very close to one of those maps where a couple of different decisions with ultimates could have seen this go a different way entirely. And we also saw Bryant not really playing the composition that they are now on that opening round. And now that they've sort of settled into a groove, I think this is much, much harder for University of Kentucky. And what a heartbreaker to be 2 maps up and to just get 3-map runaway trained at the back end of the evening.
Yeah, and I mean, I have to say, considering the remaining maps that we have available to us in control, I don't see it really changing the narrative at all. No. These all favor the style that Bryant University have trended towards as the series has gone on. So, I mean, we're getting confirmation about what that map is going to be in a moment, but overall, you have to feel that Bryant University are in command, not just in the fact they have momentum based on the last 2 victories, but also the map geometry plays to them, no matter which map we go to. And on top of that, when you're up 2, lose 2 in a row, and are at the threat of a reverse sweep, now comes the mental game. And I mean, the bad news keeps on going for University of Kentucky. We're headed to Nepal next, and hey, spoiler alert: this rush composition that Bryant University have been running, real good on all 3 stages.
And additionally, we're starting on Village, which arguably for the sort of rush composition that we see on Nepal, probably the best map for it. So not a great start unless you can find a clever way to adapt into the Bryant University composition. Still in spawn for now, but we're hovering some pretty similar looks here.
Yeah,
MZ Coops on the Zarya.
I will say the one thing that kind of makes University of Kentucky perhaps take a little moment to actually think they have a chance is that Sombra gets unleashed yet again on control, right? You have an opportunity to really get into the back line, really cause chaos, and you're able to control a lot of the map by yourself here.
Okay, what are we seeing here? Okay, it's going to be the Sojourn out from TSSMB on Bryant University. Raw comp is kind of what we were expecting here. Sojourn not typically part of that one. Rimuru receives the hack, dodges what they can back behind the bulky body of the Orisa to avoid some of that incoming damage, and we see Bryant University start to move forward again, and again we see Rimuru receive the hack. Rimuru finds the first pick, Nurik's down, no longer needs to worry about the hack, and now we're looking for cleanup here from Bryant University. MZ Coops, a decent amount of charge, 100 energy, trying to burn down Rimuru, but it's just not going to be enough. Bryant University now slowly developing the numbers in their favor. They lose Rimuru to the skill orb, but it is Bryant University that come out on top.
A lot of support ultimate charge going down the board, by the way, seeing as both.
Wow.
I mean, you're going to have both coalescences, both sound barriers in this next fight. There's a lot that's going to really be used to keep everyone alive. So sustain going to be the name of the game here in the next engagement.
Both sound barriers in one fight is kind of crazy. I can't think of the last time I saw that. Yeah, what happened there? Okay, Coalescence, speaking of which, on board here, it's Beansy with the Beamsy, trying to find somebody here on the side of Bryant University that they can stick that particular glowing rifle into. No kills yet. Klaus finds Grill Daddy and starts to move things back in the way of Bryant University. Beansy receives a sound barrier. Murik back in with the EMP, closes in, pulls the pin, and down goes. Oh, Sesame playing dodgy. Bring around the roses around that initial pillar, and University of Kentucky, they get the flip back and they win the. Oh, Rimuru finds two. Rimuru has the death blossom, pulls the pin, finds Queen Arrow, and we're going to see Nurik have to back away. Grill Daddy finds them. University of Kentucky found the flip, but they did not win the fights.
Did anyone win the fight?
We, the viewer, won the fight, Lafon.
Bryant University, they use that's a really big presence by Bryant University to use the Death Blossom in that final fight, because now they have every ultimate else. University of Kentucky are the ones that spent a ton of both support ultimates from the University of Kentucky. Now Bryant University just get a chance to sustain. Here comes the Death Blossom, but you're going into a sound barrier.
Sound barrier. Klaus waits that out, dodges the Terror Surge, pops it, looking for anything with that one. Will find Oceans. MC Coop down as well. Bryant University, they just get it done. They did commit big into that one, but it more or less leveled the playing field.
I mean, they committed big, but University of Kentucky are the ones that spent as well, right? They bring in the Graviton Surge of their own, and while MC Coops is happy that you get the Death Blossom, the Sound Barrier out, I mean, Bryant University kind of had to spend to win that fight. And I mean, this is going to be final fight for this round, and University of Kentucky, they need to be quick on the draw here with this EMP. It needs to be built post-haste, because it's going to be the only ultimate available.
I think ideal situation here for Nurik is find a hack, find a kill, get the EMP online, win the fight there, and hope that you can keep that going for the rest of it. Queen Arrow down is not a fantastic start. MC Coops at low HP. Klaus is down, and that's going to be all she wrote here for University of Kentucky on the opening round of Nepal. Nobody left to fight, and we are right at the point of match point.
An unceremonious end to that round, but it is going to be match point now for Bryant University. So close to completing the reverse sweep here. One round away, and we continue. We move into the close quarters engagement.
Ooh. Okay. University of Kentucky, yeah, you guys are in spawn, so maybe this could change. But we are seeing the Orisa being hovered here. We're seeing mirrored DPS lines. Maybe it's time for them to admit that there's something to this composition from Bryant.
A lot of survivability on the table. These fights are going to go on for a very long time. They're going to be very, very messy.
2, 1.
There's also a lot of opportunities here if you get the javelin spin to knock people off the map, which is both a fight win and also very funny.
Very funny. Deeply embarrassing if that happens to you. Bryant University, by picking Oceans on the Lucia here, will have the initial point presence. Allows them to get on top of University of Kentucky. Klaus has made a swap. Klaus actually coming in on the Cassidy here. So a lot of pick potential with the Magnetic Grenade. And Nurik's found TSSMB. Big opening for University of Kentucky. And we're seeing Bryant University pick up this lower space, this alcove on the point. Looking to get in and contest. We'll see TSSMB back in the fight shortly. Grill Daddy eats the nade. PC Nurik again looking for a follow-up pick here. Grill Daddy down. University of Kentucky continuing to find wins, but they have just let Bryant University have the points.
That capture is so big with how long everyone stays alive, right? Keeping the objective in your favor is going to end up giving you can't let it flip.
No, they get there just in time. Very close to the flip here. Rimuru closes in and gets the kill onto MC Coops. Quick punch back here from Nurik and Queen Arrow, but I think Bryant University still have the numbers on this one. Yeah, Sesame holds on to that one, and it's 30% and rising for Bryant University.
This is why capturing first is so important. When you have so much survivability, we said these fights are going to be skirmishes, and so far they have been. What that means is now, I mean, we're only one fight in. It's already 40%. On the point. That's really, you only have to win 2 fights if you're Bryant University at this point to take away the map, right? And they're going to continue, maybe even 1 if this next one is super, messy in how long it takes to kind of win out.
I think we're looking for something big here from PC Nurik. Has the overclock, pops it in. Nice anti over the top, finds Sesame. Nurik so far not able to find too much. Coops and Oceans down. It's the amplification matrix. Oh, Klaus finds Rimuru. Nurik closes the gap, closes in with the slide, spots their opposite number, forces them off the point, almost booped over the side here by Sesame. And all this time, Bryant University, they are losing members. They have control of the point. If they can get this up to 80, that's basically one fight. And now Oceans is in with the sound barrier. TSSMB in with an overclock of their own. Can't quite find enough damage to... No, will with a bit of help there from Klaus and Rimuru. Find PC Nurik. Bryant University are still in control. They are still finding the numbers here.
And they've won it.
What?
It's just an Ana versus a Reaper.
Oh no, it's a dance-off.
Can anyone touch?
I don't think so. This is okay, it's gonna have to be. It's gonna have to be Queen Arrow, who just won't be able to survive on the point all that long. Nurik finds Rimuru. High noon for 3 for Klaus at the last possible second to secure a cap and buy them a stay of execution.
But now their composition is all scattered, and they have nothing. They have no ultimates. They have no utilities. They have no resources to their name. Bryant University, all they have to do is walk in with the Death Blossom, with the Terra Surge. All they need, if you're Bryant University, is uncontested first pickoff here. And you can turn this fight in your favor with raw numbers. Can't overstay your welcome if you're University of Kentucky. You got eyes on that choke.
Sure, the reality is a little grimmer than the picture I was painting, but that was a heck of an individual play here from Klaus. And on they bully Sesame. Oh,
that's a big
Ocean's down to Klaus. Massive anti. Looking for a second here. Beansy taken out. That's the equalizer for Bryant University. Again, they have the ultimate, but now they are in the line of fire. But Sesame doesn't care that they're in the line of fire of the overclock. They bully on in. They live forever. The immortal battle cattle putting paid to the protests of University of Kentucky. Bryant University complete the reverse sweep.
It's flashy at times, but they start off poor, but they end in complete control. And the indignity. They don't even get the highlight. Klaus's individual effort is all in vain, as Sesame will get. This is the final fight of the map, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, another
Oh, it's a javelin over the edge. I see. Wow. Beautiful stuff.
Yeah. Bryant University, once they were able to get into a comfort position with their composition, they were able to just sustain through. And I mean, I called at the start of that third round, or actually at the start of Nepal, you recognize that there's no control map that really favors the compositions that Kentucky wanted to run. And with the fact that you're entering into a skirmish composition that stays alive for a very long time, you really only won 2 fights. If you're Bryant University on that third point, or on the second point, pardon me. And that really was enough. A grand total, by the way, of 4 fight wins to win the last control map.
Well, when you put it like that, it does make it seem a little bit one-sided. Some moments of individual brilliance there, absolutely, but just not enough to overcome the phenomenal teamwork of Bryant University. And we are going to be having a bit of a conversation with a player from that team coming your way in just a few minutes to round out tonight's broadcast. So while we get them in here and ready to chat, you guys go grab yourself a drink. We'll be back in just a few minutes. Well,
So I'm putting that on the Lord. Ain't accepting, ignore, just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, if I ask for it, it's gotta be real big. I gotta make it just for my kids and for their kids' kids. That's wealth years and years. Promise my brother soon as he out and finish this bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big, jobs that's real big. Satan trying a little, my God is real big. Stayed up on the ground on the cards is real big. I gotta do it big, the only way that I can live. And I promise I'm trying to. Before you count me out, homie, let me remind you. They was blocking the shine, now I think it's my time to. Counting them dollar signs like lights, they'll blind you. Let me rewind to. Back when I was broke and I couldn't acquire 2 cents. And now I got 2 wrists. They was sleeping on me, homie, must have got too big. Call my phone, I be like, who this? Damn right, hell yeah, I'm brand new. Smell like can too. I'm fresh forever like canned food. Try and tell me what I can't do. I wanna see the world, my vision on Shamu. That mean I got goals that's real big, foes that's real big. Your offer too little, sorry, my soul is real big. Coming into the ring with blows that's real big. I gotta do it big, that's the only way I can live. ain't accept and ignore, just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, if I ask for it, it's gotta be real big. I gotta make it just for my kids and for their kids' kids. That's wealth years and years. Promise my brother soon as he out and finished his bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big, jobs that's real big. Satan trying a little, my God is real big. Stayed up on the grind on the cars is real big. I gotta do it big, the only way that I can live.
Are you the one others rally around? Inspire soldiers to follow your lead. Want to forge a better future? Start with the structures that support tomorrow's missions. You believe the best offense is a good defense. We've got a great way to prove that theory. Explore more than 200 careers at GoArmy.com.
Hey man, I just can't find a comfortable headset. I mean, I've tried everything. Literally everything.
Sheesh, my brother. I got you.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
That is comfortable.
Are you the one others rally around? Inspire soldiers to follow your lead. Explore more than 200 careers at GoArmy.com.
We all got a thing that gets us out of bed or keeps us out of it. The thing we live to do, that we do for nothing at all. But don't do it for nothing. Take it to where it means everything. Becoming a leader is a choice. So if you want to learn to make big decisions, start with this one. Decide to lead.
What sound experience would you like today?
I'll have the fantasy pack.
Good choice.
And could you make it a Cloud 2 wireless?
On his way, sir.
Sounds amazing.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Skip entry level. Decide to lead as an Army officer.
What will you like today? Another Cloud 2 classic?
I'll stick with the usual. Maybe take a little bit off the sides.
Oh, that's fresh.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Hey, watch your head.
You think knowledge is a powerful weapon? Here, you'll have plenty of ammo. Look to science to solve problems? Wield a microscope to confront global threats. You sometimes dream in code? Become a cyber attacker's worst nightmare. Explore more than 200 careers at GoArmy.com.
What do you expect from that first job out of college? Working your way up from the bottom? Instead, how does this sound? Starting in a guaranteed leadership position with people who look to you for guidance because you're trained to give it and make important decisions in critical situations. Skip entry level. Decide to lead as an Army officer. Becoming a leader is a choice not everyone wants to make. Because all eyes are on you. Calling the shots. Inspiring others to follow. In any environment. At any scale. It's not for everyone. But if you want to learn to make big decisions, start with this one. Decide to lead as an Army officer.
You think knowledge is a powerful weapon? Here, you'll have plenty of ammo. Explore more than 200 careers at GoArmy.com.
Y'all think too small, I got big dreams. You just starting, I'm way ahead at the end scenes. Started reading and dodging all of the quick schemes. Money like your Spotify, boy, I got 10 streams. And I'm still looking for more. My people, they got a soar, I'm putting that on the Lord. Ain't accepting, ignore, just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, if I ask for it, it's gotta be real big. I gotta make it just for my kids and for their kids' kids. That's wealth years and years. Promise my brother soon as he out and finished his bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big, jobs that's real big. Satan trying a little, my God is real big. Stayed up on the ground and the cars is real big. I gotta do it big, the only way that I can live. And I promise I'm trying to. Before you count me out, homie, let me remind you. They was blocking the shine, now I think it's my time to. Counting them dollar signs like lights, they'll blind you. Let me rewind to back when I was broke and I couldn't acquire 2 cents. And now I got 2 rents. They was sleeping on me, homie, must have got too big. Call my phone, I be like, who this? Damn right, hell yeah, I'm brand new. Smell like can too. I'm fresh forever like canned food. Try and tell me what I can't do. I wanna see the world, my vision on Shamu. That mean I got goals that's real big, foes that's real big. Your offer too little, sorry, my soul is real big. Coming into the ring with blows that's real big. I gotta do it big, that's the only way I can live. Ain't accepting, ignore, just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, if I ask for it, it's gotta be real big. I gotta make it just for my kids and for their kids' kids. That's wealth years and years. Promise my brother soon as he out and finished his bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big, jobs that's real big. Satan trying a little, my God is real big. Stayed up on the ground and the cars is real big. I gotta do it big, the only way that I can live.
Are you the one others rally around? Inspire soldiers to follow your lead. Want to forge a better future? Start with the structures that support tomorrow's missions. You believe the best offense is a good defense. We've got a great way to prove that theory. Explore more than 200 careers at GoArmy.com.
Hey man, I just can't find a comfortable headset. I mean, I've tried everything. Literally everything.
Sheesh, my brother.
Welcome back, everybody. Here we are with the final part of tonight's broadcast. That is, of course, the interview portion of our broadcast. And joining us from our winning team is, of course, the wonderful TSSMB. TSSMB, welcome to the broadcast. How are you doing and how are you feeling on the back of that win?
I'm doing great. That was a very exciting game for all of us, for both teams. It was definitely an intense game, all 5 maps, and very close on quite a few of them.
Yeah, it's actually, I'm glad you brought up the 5 mapper, because it wasn't just 5 maps. It was a reverse sweep for you, down 0-2 in the hole early, bringing it back. We saw, I want to draw it to compositions for a second, because obviously we're in a new game. Lots of different strategies are available. We're in a new patch, a lot of different strengths. Coming into this, right, we saw from your team early the Sigma composition on Oasis, moving into a more Junker Queen, Orisa look. What really solidified moving to that brawl, to kind of kickstart your reverse sweep there towards the tail end of the series?
I think once we started to realize that the Samba was becoming a huge problem for our supports, we had to just push as a team. We couldn't stay separated at all. We had to always just stay together. So we decided to switch to Brawl Comp and try to push forward into them and leave Samba behind us.
And I think an interesting adaptation with Overwatch 2 compared to Overwatch 1 is we didn't used to think of Orisa as a brawl tank. Like, she was sort of sit back, bunker up, spam, and hope for the best. How has it been adapting as a team to play with like this new style of tank brawling in a different way that you normally would with, say, a Reinhardt?
The Orisa is definitely interesting now that she no longer has a shield, because, yeah, we can definitely push in more. With the Reinhardt, you can push, but you still have to stay wary of his shield health and play around that. But with the Orisa, just having 2 cooldowns to block a lot of damage, it allows you to just keep moving forward. You don't have to worry about waiting for the shield to recharge at all.
Yeah, near on unkillable at times it seemed, especially once the fortify is up and with the javelin spin, as you kind of mentioned. Actually, now to draw it a little bit more holistically, I mentioned the fact that we are in a new game. How has the team kind of been acclimatizing to, and if they've been enjoying this move to the 5v5 in Overwatch 2?
It's definitely been an interesting change because most of our subs main tank, and with only one tank available, it becomes we have only a couple supports and a couple DPS and like 4 tanks on the sidelines. So it's definitely been interesting trying to work with comp, seeing which tank works best, and trying to figure out which player can play which tank best.
Yeah, sounds like it might be time for some of those guys to reskill and invest in flex DPS stocks. But CSSMB, that kind of brings us towards the end of what we had lined up for you today. I wanted to give you the opportunity to, say thanks or give a shout out to anybody on your team or watching or at home that you might want to give a special thanks to.
Yeah, so special thanks to the team. We worked really well in those last 3 maps, especially to Sesame and Rimuru. We worked well, pushed in. It was really great. Yeah, special thanks to just the team. We always supporting each other, keep each other up, saying good picks, just keeping each other up.
Wonderful. Well, TSSMB, we will let you go and rejoin those teammates now and enjoy your victory and hope that we see more from you over the course of ECAC.
All right, thanks for having me.
No problem at all. Everybody else, want to thank you very much for joining us today at the early part of ECAC's Overwatch 2 broadcast. I've been Big Hungry Phil with, of course, the wonderful LaFon, who I promise you I don't really hate. It's just fun to play that up. LaFon, anything you want to say to close out the broadcast?
I mean, listen, it's a new game. We've had some really new and exciting gameplay moments. I think this is probably the most excited I've been for Overwatch in 2 years. It's just kind of funny to think about, but I'm glad that we got to see more action underway. And the only thing I have to say is stick around, stay tuned for the next couple of games because they're going to be just as exciting. I can guarantee you that.
And I'm surprised, having teed you up to tell me how much you really hate me, that you didn't take that bait. That's personal growth, and we love to see it. Everybody, we will see you at some point in the not-too-distant future for more ECAC Overwatch 2 action, and, of course, more esports across the week. Take care and stay tuned.
I got you.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
That is comfortable.
Are you the one others rally around? Inspire soldiers to follow your lead. Explore more than 200 careers at GoArmy.com.
We all got a thing. A thing that gets us out of bed or keeps us out of it. The thing we live to do, that we do for nothing at all. But don't do it for nothing. Take it to where it means everything. Becoming a leader is a choice. So if you want to learn to make big decisions, start with this one. Decide to lead.
What sound experience would you like today?
I'll have the fantasy pack.
Good choice.
And could you make it a Cloud 2 wireless?
On his way, sir.
Sounds amazing.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Skip entry level. Decide to lead as an Army officer.
What will you like today? Another Cloud 2 classic?
I'll stick with the usual. Maybe take a little bit off the sides.
Oh, that's fresh.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Hey, watch your head.
You think knowledge is a powerful weapon? Here, you'll have plenty of ammo. Look to science to solve problems? Wield a microscope to confront global threats. You sometimes dream in code? Become a cyber attacker's worst nightmare. Explore more than 200 careers at GoArmy.com.
What do you expect from that first job out of college? Working your way up from the bottom? Instead, how does this sound? Starting in a guaranteed leadership position with people who look to you for guidance because you're trained to give it and make important decisions in critical situations. Skip entry level. Decide to lead as an Army officer. Becoming a leader is a choice not everyone wants to make. Because all eyes are on you. Calling the shots. Inspiring others to follow. In any environment. At any scale. It's not for everyone. But if you want to learn to make big decisions, start with this one. Decide to lead as an Army officer.
You think knowledge is a powerful weapon? Here, you'll have plenty of ammo. Explore more than 200 careers at GoArmy.com.
Y'all think too small, I got big dreams. You just starting, I'm way ahead at the end scenes. Started reading and dodging all of the quick schemes. Money like your Spotify, boy, I got 10 streams. And I'm still looking for more. My people, they got a soar, I'm putting that on the Lord. Ain't accepting, ignore, just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, if I ask for it, it's gotta be real big. I gotta make it just for my kids and for their kids' kids. That's wealth years and years. Promise my brother soon as he out and finished his bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big, jobs that's real big. Satan trying a little, my God is real big. Stayed up on the ground on the cars is real big. I gotta do it big, the only way that I can live. And I promise I'm trying to. Before you count me out, homie, let me remind you. They was blocking the shine, now I think it's my time to. Counting them dollar signs like lights, they'll blind you. Let me rewind to back when I was broke and I couldn't acquire 2 cents. And now I got 2 rents. They was sleeping